My name is Gabby Nahhas. My major is political science, and my minor is in sociology with the focus on law, justice, and social change. And I'm expected to graduate in May. My honors thesis topic right now is about abortion and COVID-19 policies in the United States and how women use reasoning to talk about these two issues. I've been very interested in women's rights from a very young age. And so for me, abortion was always something that I've been following throughout high school and throughout college. And recently there's been a lot happening with abortion in the Supreme Court. There's a case that went to court this year. And then there is this small set of laws that have been going into effect in various US states. But what we saw kind of this year was that people who were on the right, so people who would typically be opposed to abortion rights, were kind of using the same phrase that had been used throughout the history of pro-choice legislation, this phrase, my body, my choice. So that language had kind of been used on the anti-COVID mandate side of things. So I thought that was really interesting. And since they're both contemporary issues, they're both ongoing issues, I thought they were a good fit for each other. So I wanted to see, are people reasoning about these issues when they use this kind of phrasing? Are they using the same kind of reasoning to talk about both issues? Are they justifying, differences in application of this phrase and of this, kind of way of thinking? Or is there no pattern at all? But what I was really interested in as things progressed was not just how are people using this phrase, are they using this phrase? It was more why, like how are people talking about this in their daily lives? Because it's a lot easier to get an assessment of, okay, how do people feel about abortion or how do they feel about COVID than it is to actually understand like what is the internal process that's happening in people's heads when they talk about these things and when they make their decisions as well. Because the way that people feel is what translates into policy, into like voting on policy, right? But essentially, I went in and I interviewed these women about their opinions. And instead of just asking them, like, what is your opinion? I was like, tell me why you feel this way. And tell me what would make you feel differently, too. Like, what's the tipping point for every person, on both of these issues, separately and together? And how do you view them in relation to your own life? And I enjoyed speaking with them so much. It was like the greatest honor in the world that these women were trusting me with, for some of them, like things that they had never told another living human being. And the most remarkable part of it to me was that I'm so young, like I feel so young. And so I'm talking to these people who are old enough to be my mom. And they're telling me like, I've never told my parents this, but let me tell you about this one really personal experience I had with abortion. And I never asked a single question about that. I never said, have you had a personal experience with abortion? Has this been something that you've done or you didn't do or you saw someone do? But it was just information that they felt comfortable sharing with me. So I felt very privileged with all of that information, and I still do. So I'm trying to write something that is respectful of that, because even though I am studying political science and their political opinions, they are still very much real people